Hello and welcome back to World's Shortest Comedian, where we review the world's shortest comedians. Our first and last episode will be about Tyler Fischer. See him in such wonderful pictures as La La Land parody where he's the shortest man in the East, or Daily Wire movie about cowboys where he's the shortest man in the West. Now this video won't actually be about how short Tyler Fischer is, so gotcha. No, this is actually going to be about how horrendously unfunny Tyler is, and how he uses this growing disdain for empathy within right-wing communities to appeal to his already established base of like-minded dumbasses. Further agitate this already riled up base and bring absolutely nothing new to the table. He's a mouthpiece for buzzwords and talking points that have been done to death, and he has never had an original thought in any of his TikToks, YouTube videos, or stand-up. In essence, he's taking the easiest possible route to soulless clout. That rhymed. I'm so good. I'm so smart and talented and good. But don't take my word for it that Tyler is incredibly unoriginal. Take it from Tyler himself, who will get me demonetized simply by playing his content. So you win this round, Clint Southwood, because you're like a knockoff Clint Eastwood, also South because you're closer to the ground. You get it. Short. Content warnings in the description. Let's jump into it. Actually, no, let's play a game. How many of these things will Tyler make fun of in this 90-second video?
Whole Foods needs a union. Like, I can't survive this anymore. This is like worse than being in Vietnam. I had to work 3 hours yesterday, and we only had 30 minutes for lunch. And I'm a kosher vegan. You know how hard it is to find a restaurant? These hours are killing me, and I'm a full-time student. I'm majoring in queer knitting and minoring in films from the patriarchy. They made us watch a Woody Allen movie the other day. I was on suicide watch for 5 hours. And I got misgendered again. I was stalking something and someone's like, "Hi, little boy, can you help me get something?" I was like, "Hello, I'm a girl. I have a beard and a bulge." They don't offer any like support for height challenged queer people. It's like, and I have to stock the bread. I'm gluten intolerant and they make me stock the bread. I can't even reach it. I'm intolerant. And it's like, I know my manager's doing it on purpose because he's a cis straight white male. They don't even give us a break. I tried taking a nap with my weighted blanket in the shampoo aisle and they're like, "You can't do that." I feel like a slave child on Epstein's island when I'm here. And I have anxieties they don't even care about. I suffer from anthropophobia, which is fear of people, and psychophobia, which is the fear of food, and I'm around food and people all day. I'll do it. I'll cut myself. Oh, it's a butter knife.
I wanted to show that video in particular, not because it's the best example of Tyler's comedy, or even the most offensive by a country mile. I am not a little baby snowflake, I am not offended by his content. But it really just shows off how dense of a man he is, and how poorly structured his comedy is. Like, this isn't comedy, this is pandering to your base. He thinks his audience is fucking stupid, and he thinks he's the smartest man in any given room. On his website, where you can become a member and pay him to do what he's already doing, why would you? He blames the state of Hollywood, censorship, and ideology for it being tougher to have a secure career in comedy. Now, I made a video about this over a year ago, about how wokeness did not kill comedy and how there is still a place for unsafe, darker comedy. I recommend you go and watch that video after watching this one. I'll put it in the end screen, because I talk about how comedians like Louis C.K. have missed the mark with dark humor, but some really hit the mark, like Tim mentioned, because he's smarter. I do agree to an extent that there are more things now that are frowned upon in stand-up comedy especially, but that has always been true. Everything that is in comedy now is more censored than it was back then. And even back then, that was also true. Because times change and you have to change with them. Otherwise, you will get left behind. You ever have a snack or a drink from your childhood come back in stores and then you eat it and it just doesn't taste quite right? Like, your circumstances have changed, so the taste of that thing has changed, you know? That's what this is like. Except with like hate crimes and mediocre jokes. Whoa, Tyler's anti-vax? Didn't see that coming. Totally normal to take pictures of random people in the park and say that they're victims of government and media-induced mental illness because they're wearing masks, very far away from you and not bothering you at all. Very incredibly normal behavior from the world's shortest grifter. Wanna buy a $30 tumbler about how everything's racist now? Or a sweatshirt that says how Max vaccines, Pride, and Black Lives Matter are all bad? Speaking of Pride, I bet that Tyler has a very, very normal and sane take on the trans community, right?
He doesn't.
Hi everybody, my name is Ms. Dare K. I am a teacher, hashtag first responder.
Oh no!
I identify as kink forward, two-spirit, triple distilled, queer adjacent, Mexican wrestler woman.
Bro, this is all that Tyler's capable of doing. He wants to say words like kink and queer and Mexican, I guess. He wants to say these words in order to get people like David Buckley 1005 to comment, "Is this real or not? Hard to tell these days." He just lists things. His whole sense of humor is that he looks in the camera, says, "I'm a gender fluid black girl who believes in Bud Lights and trans rights," and then dares to call himself a comedian. Like, I definitely see a joke here. But it's not what's coming out of your mouth, bud. But he loves it, dude. He's having so much fun. He clearly gets so much joy out of saying the quiet part out loud.
Not letting me teach in my truth would be super duper violent, ultra mega semi-fascist racist.
I will say though, do you want to know something that does actually kind of tick me off? And you know, wrestler mask off to you, Tyler. You got a reaction out of me. Congratulations. Let's give him a round of applause. But there are genuine fundamental misunderstandings hidden in the layers of this comedy. The best of the best comedians that are from the era of comedy that Tyler yearns for, like George Carlin or Richard Pryor, they spoke truth to power. The layers of their comedy were born from truth. Carlin hated capitalism and the military-industrial complex. Richard Pryor often spoke out against the unfair treatment of black people when it came to the police. But guys like Tyler are embarrassing because they think they're speaking truth to power when they're not. They think that they understand, like, society, and they think that they're rebelling against this, like, massive mainstream force of nature. But then he says things like this.
And by the way, to all you Tucker Carlson fans, I am not forcing the kids to be into kink, okay? I'm just letting them know it's okay because life is about choice.
But it's not a choice. Your community deciding to support you, your government allocating resources to assist in the outward expression of your transness in order to lower and prevent suicide rates in teens and young adults. That is a choice that the people that are in power can make. Speaking truth to power in this situation is not making fun of the marginalized group. It is making fun of the people that are oppressors because they deserve to be fucking mocked. But let me make something clear. This video is not me getting pissed at Tyler because he doesn't understand the intricacies of gender. The underlying point here is that there is this deepening lack of empathy in right-wing communities, and particularly in extremists like Tyler masquerading as comedians. Listing things off like Gen Z needs safe spaces to make your kids trans is not comedy. The reason why Tyler isn't funny is because he never learned what comedy was. Comedy is not just giving people what they want. Comedy is incongruity. It is expecting A, but getting B. It is not listing off Matt Walsh talking points and putting clothespins on your nipples. I know, I'm surprised too. Who would have thunk? The problem with Tyler is this. Number one, his comedy is not interesting because he's saying it in this insular bubble of like-minded idiots. Number two, his comedy is not layered because it exposes his lack of knowledge of the topics he jokes about. Number three, his comedy is not funny because it is exactly what you would expect from the shortest cowboy in a Daily Wire movie. I'm not saying Tyler is hopeless in his comedy. I really do hope to see Tyler grow as a comedian outside of just making fun of people on the left and doing it so piss poorly. Because I think one of two things is gonna happen. Either he's gonna start really showing some chops in his comedy, or he's going to enjoy the fall of his career forever. Please don't forget to check out my video on how wokeness did not kill comedy. I'll put it at the end screen so you can go check that out. Fans of Tyler Fischer and maybe Tyler himself, please don't forget to call me a cuck and a groomer in the comments down below. I will be responding to none of you, but every time you call me a groomer, another child turns trans. So thank you for your service. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you have not done so already. Be sure to hit that bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video, and I will see you all next time. Get out of my house. Goodbye.